Hi, Pat. Thanks for coming in today. I'm not sure if you know why you were called down to the office, but I think your basketball coach is just a little concerned about your grades and your eligibility to play. So he kind of wanted us to problem solve and maybe talk about maybe if there's anything affecting your grades and anything we can do to help you school-wise so that we can make sure that you're playing. Okay?
Definitely like to keep playing, so that would be nice.
Good. So the first thing we're going to do, though, is talk about confidentiality. And so I have a consent form for you. And so basically, when we meet, everything that goes on in the office or said in the office is confidential, except for anything that would reveal that you are harming yourself or potentially harming others. In that case, I would have to make that information known to other people. So if you're okay with that, just go ahead and sign that and date it.
Okay. So for child's name, should I just put my name then?
Yes.
There you go.
All right. And Pat, I know you're a senior, but I don't think I've had you in the office too often, so why don't you go ahead and just start by telling me a little bit about yourself.
Alright, well, I play center on the basketball team.
Okay.
We're doing really good this year, so obviously I want to keep playing. I obviously have kept up with my grades previously in school, because I haven't been here before, but now they're kind of dropping senior year. I'm a lot more excited and finding out that basketball is going well and keeping up with that stuff. That's where the scholarships are coming from. That's how I'm going to get to college. So it's kind of where I've been putting my focus on. And school's just kind of dragging on. It's boring. Other details, I guess, I'm 18 years old, a part-time job, working at a local park. Not too much of that right now since we're in the winter season, but that works perfectly with basketball. They don't have too many hours. I have a small family, 2 sisters, a brother, medium, I guess. Parents are still present and available, supportive of me.
Okay. 2 sisters and a brother and your parents, and you all live together?
Yep.
Okay. When's your birthday, Pat?
It's August 28th.
And you said you're 18?
That's correct.
Okay, so what year were you born?
I was born in 1999.
Okay. And, so what, cultural or ethnic identity does your family relate to? I know in Erie there's a lot of, Polish and German ancestry, but is there anything your family particularly relates to?
We have a lot of Polish food at Christmas, but that's not necessarily, we do the potato pancake thing and shiki, but there's a good mix of other cultures in there. My grandmother just kind of always pulled things together however she wanted, and that's just what came out of it. Italian gets mixed in there, German. So a cultural identity in the family, I wouldn't say it's anything particularly strong-willed. You only see it in food. Some traditions for holidays, I guess, hold over.
Okay.
But
So traditions usually just like foods around Christmas time or holidays. Okay. Cool. So I'm assuming your native language would be just predominantly English?
That's all I know how to speak. A couple years of French, but...
How often or acceptable do you think it is for somebody in your family to seek counseling help? Do you know of anybody in your family who's ever done that before?
Not especially. If any of my siblings have done it, it hasn't really been discussed. And to my knowledge, my parents do not do anything like that.
Okay, so just unknown maybe. All right. And you're in high school. Okay, and so again, the reason why you were referred here today was by the coach, just for academic concerns. Maybe if you can explain in your own words what you think is going on there.
Well, like I said, in senior year, the team's doing awesome, and I want to keep up. Scholarships are a big part of that. Obviously, being able to play in college is great, just even on that level. But the free schooling would be another big drive. So I want to keep up with that, and that's what's really defining my life right now. The other stuff in school, I've done acceptably up to this point. It's just becoming more of a drain. When I go home, I find myself still wanting to focus and practice on basketball. Homework just kind of is set aside. I don't want to focus on it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. I'm tired of it. Just the same stuff over and over again. Not like I feel like I'm learning new material most of the time, or when I am learning it, I'm learning it in the classroom. So why do all this repetitive junk? But that's pretty much how I feel. I can't motivate myself to care about school anymore. I just want it to be done.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is your main motivation or your main priority is doing well in basketball because you really are interested in getting a scholarship. So doing the schoolwork is kind of like taking like a like on the back burner.
Yeah,
like it's not a priority as much as the basketball.
Definitely not a priority, but I would say that acknowledging that there's some issue. I obviously need to do well enough to pass to getting these scholarships, and to maintain my status on the team. So to the level that it becomes a problem, I would say it's not just that it's not a priority, it's that it's almost non-existent. Anything that's outside of school isn't happening most of the time.
Okay. And I also remember you mentioned that it's just not, you feel like it's repetitive, like it's you already are doing it in school, why do you need to do it again, kind of thing. So like it's homework is an issue, is that you're just not doing your homework? Like, are you getting your
homework, studying is, if there's something where you're going to have to be memorizing something, I'm not going to be doing well in that. If it's something that requires a little bit of detail and practice, if there's a paper or a project, 5 pages of work, obviously, if you're not doing homework, you're not writing 5 pages, so all of a sudden that assignment's out the window, it's worth a lot of points.
Are you getting your work done in class? Like if a teacher gives you an in-class assignment?
Yeah, there's nothing else to do in class, so obviously I will complete things, and you don't study, you don't do as well, but it's done at least.
But if you're at home and there's a choice between basketball and doing homework, you'll choose basketball. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's about it.
Okay. All right, just checking. Okay, so is that, other than the not doing the homework, the grades falling, slipping, it's affecting your eligibility to play, is that affecting you in any other ways? Like perhaps with your relationships with your parents, with your friends? Tell me, how is that?
Well, I've been dodging the issue with my parents for a while. Obviously, they're going to find out that my grades are dropping eventually. Once more, the end of the quarter report card comes out. The first one wasn't good, and they're definitely not going to be happy when they see the second one as it's coming up. So, in that sense, they have some expectations on me that I'm not meeting. So, it's impacting that issue. I don't think they're aware of. In fact, I make sure they're not aware of the current state of things. So, that would be part of the issue. They very well would probably threaten to take the basketball idea away too if I didn't get it up, even without the school's policy. So that's a concern.
Okay, so it sounds like you're kind of hiding things from them?
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Okay, that's not very good. So we want to kind of work on that so that that doesn't escalate, into something bigger than it is. Is that, something you've done in the past, or is this a relatively new kind of thing?
I mean, I'm not naturally dishonest with my parents,
Mhm.
but I don't think any of us, if just kind of a normal thing for any of my friends, is if you want to stay out of trouble, you avoid certain subjects. If they don't necessarily know, you go out with your friends and you cause a little bit of trouble here or there. It's you don't tell them like, hey, I went out and we like threw eggs at some kid or something like that as a joke.
Okay.
That's just not what you do. I mean, you don't tell your parents everything
Yeah.
you do, and they probably are happier not to know.
Right. You mentioned having the 2 sisters and a brother. What's the birth order there? Where do you fall in
I am
line?
the 3rd child, and I have a older sister and older brother in that order, and then a younger sister.
Can you tell me their names? So I'm gonna make a little chart here.
Yep. Kim,
Okay.
Tom,
Uh-huh.
then myself,
All right.
and then Amy.
All right. So tell me what's the relationship like with you and your siblings? You know, are any of them significantly older, younger? Are you closer to?
There's some substantial age gaps. So my older siblings are out of college already, 6 and 8 years older.
Okay.
So pretty big gap there. And then my younger sister is in junior high right now. So she'll be a freshman next year coming in here.
Okay.
So 4 years gap on that end.
Okay.
So both directions, significant gap. And, you know, they're my siblings, so no, we're not as close to some other people's siblings, I guess you would say, just because of that. And probably that's part of the cause. Maybe just other things of family structure. I don't hang out with them on a regular basis. I don't have any problems with them, though.
Okay. Did they any of them play sports in high school?
My sister was in the color guard, and my brother was on the basketball team throughout junior high. I don't recall actively if he ever participated past that. I know he got involved in theater later on and definitely didn't do it in his later years. He may have been in basketball his freshman year of high school.
Okay. All right. So, what other types of things other than basketball do you like to do for fun?
I mean, hang out with my friends on weekends, go to the movies, occasionally play some video games, watch YouTube videos, I guess. It's a big thing.
Okay. Are most of your friends basketball players?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, there's a couple people from other... a lot of them are involved in sports in some way, shape, or form. But, yeah, the most of it's the basketball team and just a couple people who...
And you said you had the part-time job,
Mm-hmm.
but it's...
majority of it's the summer work, and then I get some hours here and there
Okay.
patched in throughout the warmer season. There's usually not much that's offered in the winter. But again, that works perfectly with the schedule, so...
Tell me, what's a typical day in Pat's life?
Alright, well, I mean, a typical day is a school day, because that's going to make up the majority of your life. I wake up, usually not so well. I try to get a decent amount of sleep, because it's good for recovery and sports and all that stuff, but realistically, I still go to bed later than I should, probably about 11 o'clock or something like that, and then we have to be at school like 7:30, so getting up at 6:30. So not as much as all the recommendations are, at least 8 hours, and then coach will say, well, you know, since we're younger, we should be getting 9, 10, who knows. That doesn't always happen, and it's hard when you're a kid. Like, your friends are up online or texting, and you want to be involved in that. I want to be involved in that, and it's part of the social life, so everyone else is up to 11, you want to be up to 11. So every once in a while I'll get to bed by 9. Pretty much that's the start of it, is usually not quite enough sleep, dragging through the beginning of the day. Then we come to school, normal, whatever, first period, second period, general class stuff, and obviously socialize with friends between the day. Lunch is good 30 minutes of break. Obviously more enjoyable than most everything else because you just get to relax and chat with people. And at the end of the day, we practice, which usually goes about 2 hours. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And then you get home around 5 o'clock, 5:30, eat. Then ideally, I would do homework, but by that time, I'm really ready to do other things, and it doesn't get done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll go online and watch a couple YouTube videos. All of a sudden, an hour and a half's passed, maybe play some video or computer game, chat with my friends a little bit, and by that time, it's time to go to bed.
So you're doing more of like relaxing things rather than your homework.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of winding down, de-stressing. You're not necessarily like going out and practicing more basketball. You're just kind of.
I mean, I'll shoot. We have a basketball hoop in the driveway, so yeah, I'll shoot hoops. I wouldn't call it. It's not the same as running drills.
Yeah.
Or, like the intense exercise is done. So maybe muscle memory practice
Okay.
would be a relaxing thing for me.
Okay.
But to say that it's not like I'm going home and redoing my training sessions. I realize there's a physical rest sense needed there.
Okay. All right. And your relationship with your parents, other than the, like, you're worried about, them finding out about the grades, which, I mean, in all honesty, it's going to come out, eventually when the report cards come out. What's your relationship like with them, normally?
My mother would be the more present one. My father works second shift, so generally when I get home from school, he's already left by that time. Or I'll see him if I'm doing basketball, he's left. And if on a normal day, I might see him for about 5 minutes because he's just going out the door if I get home early. Otherwise, he'll be off to second shift. So I only really see him on weekends. And not that he is incredibly absent, but, a weekend would generally be if I'm not off at a tournament or something, saying, hey, here's some yard work we're going to do, and
right.
That's most of my relationship with my father. My mother would be the more active one. She cooks dinners, prepares. I'll tell her about my day to some extent, just normal. I feel like there's not much to say. It's the same stuff every day.
Yeah.
But I communicate with her. I don't have any issues with my mother or my father. They get on my nerves sometimes, and they get upset with me at times, but I don't feel unsupported or unloved or like anybody's abandoning me or anything like that.
Okay. How important do you think getting a basketball scholarship is to your parents?
My other siblings didn't receive any scholarships of note, so there's nothing essential to it, but from my own perspective, it'd be nice to have less in the way of student loans. Priority for me is just being able to play in college. The scholarship's a huge bonus and benefit, meaning, hey, I don't have to worry so much about like working part-time in college or trying to pay for my books or anything like that. Oh, they recorded all that. Jeez.
Yeah, 19 minutes.